very interesting in the US chart that the Scorpio new moon is actually going to be trine the sun. That could be showing support for the leaders as they stand. But I'm sensing that this is more than just about leaders. This is going to be about bringing in leaders, powerful leaders of transformation, easy transformation. This new moon is going to be about righting wrongs, righting the ship, righting the direction of the U.S. into a better, less traumatic turmoil. That bringing Trump in was all about bringing everything down to the bare bones and causing a lot of upheaval, which is kind of necessary to happen to rid the country of any scum and corruption and everything that it was already experiencing. And what Trump did was he brought it all to the surface, so for everyone to see where all the holes were, where all the problems were, like with financial spending and the corruption in politics, and he just put a glaring light on it. So this new moon, it looks like there's going to be a heavily energized turnout with a lot of the public not just feeling eager but wanting to come out and vote and for their chosen representative. Now I'm seeing that with Venus involved, so we've got Mars sitting on the moon, and that's really energizing the public to want to come out and vote, but it's also causing the public to feel very angry, which is why they're feeling so energized to come out and vote. Now, Venus is also involved in this in a nice trine as well. So this has me believing that, or what this is showing is that they are not liking something, and that's what's making them come out and want to vote. It shows that women are feeling like this is a time where they need to be energized and to right wrongs that have been going on. And I noticed that with Venus square the US's Pluto, a lot of it has to do with the abuse against females. So females are coming out to vote because in large numbers because they don't like the way women have been abused and treated and ignored, and they're like, no, we need to fix this right now. And then so this new moon is coming in, and it shows that this is gonna bring in a lot of really good people that are going to make those wishes happen. And there's going to be a really big transformation in the way the U.S. is run, the way the government works, the way leaders work, the way leaders behave. And I really feel like that with Mercury kind of hiding in the 12th house, just on the other side of the first house, so it's in the house of the unseen, that a lot of people, you may think they've made their decision, and you may think they've made their decision in a certain way, but given the sign that Mercury is in, I sense that there's going to be a lot of liberal voters that all of a sudden show up that were not showing up in the polls. And I have a feeling that this could be a lot of conservative voters that are not willing to admit that they are about to vote liberal, and then when they get into the voting booth, they decide that they're going to vote liberal with their own little secret ballot, and they're going to bring big change. So I'm I'm really, really, and it shows, like, with Mercury opposing the US's Uranus as well, it's showing that people are changing their mind. They're opposing what Uranus is all about, the supreme leaders. So it's all about presidents and prime ministers and dictators. And it shows that a lot of these voters that are coming out that are kind of hiding, they're opposing the dictator, the leader. So I really feel like, and it shows that there's, with Jupiter sitting on the last degree, the 29th degree, it shows that this is the end of authoritarian extremism when it comes to politics and government officials and how that's run, and that it's likely going to turn into a heavy Democrat government come November 7th. And it's really crazy because I seen this when Trudeau got voted in, and I said that Trudeau's going to have a heavy landslide win. I'm not exactly seeing the same signs for, I guess I am a little bit with the heavy turnout, but it's not showing heavy Democrat, but I have a feeling that Democrats are going to be the deciding factor in this election. So I'm super excited. And then also with this square I'm seeing between Jupiter and Saturn, I'm really feeling like a lot of people are finding the obstructionist and the nastiness, the just the fat heads, and it's like of the Republican Party or the conservatives are just too much. Like, they're out of touch with people, they're out of touch with people's needs, and this ballooning government budget could also be playing a really big role in why people are not feeling conservatives. It's also showing like tolerance levels are a lot lower for the conservatives, and that people are wanting them to cultivate more of an assistance of others. So the conservatives are going to have to be forced to reassess their party, their direction, and that things as they are just really stagnant and tired. I really feel like a bit of a dream situation for the whole country is going to turn out with this, with the way this new moon lands in the US's chart, and it's in the house of change. So the moon is all about, which is the public, is all about, like, they're really eccentric, and that, but I'm also seeing like this eccentricity is really coming out. I feel like there's gonna be feeling like there's a lot of people that are gonna be feel very brazen once Venus moves along a bit and Mars just sticks around for a little bit longer. There could be a bit of anger, but I feel like women are gonna play a big part in how this new government, or women are gonna play a big part in showing up and making changes for the country. And that they're done with the abuse. And I'm seeing women, especially women, but a lot of people in general are going to be very unhappy with the way money has been abused and spent, and that people don't have money and they're not seeing the money in their bank accounts. But I think the coolest part about this is that I'm seeing this Mercury kind of just sitting in the 12th house on the 6th, and then come the morning on the 7th, Mercury comes over the first house line, And it's very, very clear to see that likely Democrats are going to be going to come out on top. They're going to be the face of the government, and they're going to be opposing the leader in every respect. And it's really funny, like, I didn't even think about the midterms, but when I was looking at Trump's inauguration chart, it was showing that there was going to be hardship, healthcare was going to be under attack and nonstop be under attack, that the conservatives were going to be in bad character, they were going to be disconnected from voters, everything they were going to try and do was going to fumble, except for things that had to do with money. So money reform, tax reform is like, that's why that's pretty much their only victory. That and abuses against women, but also bringing women out because of that abuse, women also feeling like they need to show their voice, they need to use their power, and they feel more powerful, and that's why Trump has brought out so many women voters, or even women that are running and representing. So from the way this chart looks, it could be showing a lot of women end up winning their ridings. So that's really exciting as well. So I guess we'll see how all this plays out, but I'm really getting a sense that this could be really good for the Democrats. And like, when I was looking at Trump's inauguration chart, yes, the conservatives were going to be like unable to function, unable to really do anything, unable to get anything done, show bad character, weakness, not sickly. And then it was like, yeah. And then they had one of their most important one. Not only was the whole party sick and the whole government sick, but then you had crazy illnesses end up hitting some of them, like McCain, for instance, and it ended up taking him. But it also showed that Trump was likely to have a very short, if not the shortest term in office. So like, and the way it looked, I was like, I highly doubt he'll even make it through his first term. And I kind of thought, and like when I was looking ahead to see what eclipses might topple him, I was like, okay, January 2019, I don't see him going much further than that, whether its impeachment process starts then or he's just completely gone by then. But I was kind of hoping that it was Mueller that would bring him down. But now I'm realizing that it's likely going to be all these Democrats end up getting voted in, and impeachment proceedings start because of that. And like, if you really think about it, now seeing the way things are, it's like if the conservatives were to stay in power and the report were to come out from Mueller, more than likely the conservatives have no backbone. They wouldn't do anything about it anyway. So what is really needed is for these Democrats to get in so that this circus can freaking well end, because this is just unreal. It's spreading all over the world, this Trumpism. It's toxic. I can't wait for this to end. I can't believe that it's even happening here in Canada. It's like an infection. It's like a disease. Everyone's being infected with this disease. Well, not everybody, thank God. But yeah, so these are my thoughts about the election. I'm really, really, really excited with what I see. And I think like one of the biggest factors for me is seeing this Mercury coming over the ascendant, because when I seen that when I was deciding back in 2015 what I was predicting in January 2015 who would win the October 2015 election, I had seen other psychics had gone with conservatives or minorities or whatever, and I was the only one that was like, no, this is going to be a liberal majority. And it was one of the biggest things, and I said no one's going to know until the polls won't know, and I'm like, it won't be figured out until the votes are counted. And it was like Trudeau just barely made it. Like, it showed he was going to get a last minute bump. And it was like, even come July and August, he still wasn't even in first place. And I'm like, nope, I still have to stick with this, because it says that when all this happens, it will all come together at the last minute, and that a lot of voters won't even know who they're going to vote for until they get in the voting booth, and then it will just all be decided once votes are counted over that night and the next day, and then it will be the true answer on who's going to win. And I feel like that is going to be the same thing with this election, that there's a lot of liberal voters that are kind of just sitting in the weeds, not willing to speak up and say who they're actually voting for, afraid of being reprimanded by just abusive people on either side, for instance. But definitely conservatives are, it's really hard to, they don't accept facts, they don't listen to facts, they don't see what's right in front of their face. So if you were a conservative that were thinking about voting liberal, I would probably be afraid to say that I was, or to let anyone know what I was thinking either, because I was afraid of being attacked. So I really feel like that's the case, and that this election is going to right a lot of wrongs, and things are going to get a lot easier, and things are going to start to make sense again. This is a very important new moon, that this is a very important election, and that it will really, really, really make a big difference. And a lot of this chaos and checks and balances will start to take place again, finally. And everyone, whether you're liberal or conservative, will be put out of your misery, because I don't think Trump's going to be able to get much more done from here, and I think he'll be on his way out for sure. They have way more than enough reasons, and really the Republicans, if they had any spine, they should have, instead of backing this crazy train up, they should have been strong enough to say no and say this is not okay, and to not let this craziness go on as long as it has. Like, how many conservatives are like, I don't even want to do this anymore? And there were a lot of really good conservatives, and that's really sad. But I'm really, really happy to see the toxic and the corrupt ones are likely not going to make it past this one and this election, and things are going to get a lot easier. Thank God. So anyway, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what happens, see how the energy unfolds. But I really feel like things are going to be kind of secretive. We'll have a bit of an idea, but it will still be foggy and uncertain. But the certainty will come on November 7th, maybe a little bit prior to that. But I really feel like there's going to be a whole new face for the government, or the House of Representatives and Senate, after this election. So, yay! So, okay, Lucy, my Debbie. You're such a good girl. Okay. Say bye. Bye.